Katie, thank you for inviting us into your training camp. Final few days of preparation here in Connecticut before you head to Philadelphia for your fight. How's training camp gone and just how excited are you to get to Philadelphia?
Training camp has gone great. I feel in great shape ahead of this fight. It's been a tough few months as always before these fights, but I'm really excited about the fight. I have a chance to unify the division and showcase my talent again.
Yeah, you mentioned the word unification there. Your opponent is Rose Volante, the WBO champion. She's unbeaten. Have you studied her at all, and what sort of fight are you expecting from her?
Yeah, she's a great fighter, a great champion. She's undefeated, as you said, as well. And I know she's very, very strong. She has a big right hand. She's very dangerous. I know this is going to be a tough fight. She's a very proud champion as well. So I am prepared for this type of challenge. It could possibly be a very physical fight, but we have been working on a lot of things over these last few months, and I feel like I am prepared for this fight. This is going to be a huge year for me, I feel, but I obviously need to get over Rose Volante first, and as I said, this is a huge fight for me.
And is this exactly the sort of challenge where you think that it will bring the best out of you?
I think so, yeah. As I said, we're both undefeated champions going into this fight. She has a chance to unify as well. She's coming in here to take my belts away from me, so it is the biggest opportunity for her as well. But no, I feel like it's going to be a really exciting fight. I think our both styles are going to really mend well in the fight, and I can't wait to get in there. I feel obviously well prepared for this.
What about the next 12 months? I know you're one of those people that you don't want to speak about the next one until it's here, but you've hinted at the fact that all roads at the moment are leading towards the undisputed championship. You want all 4 belts, and presumably that's your goal for this year.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, I said before all along that I wanted to become the undisputed champion. This could be a huge year for me, a monumental year actually for me, but I obviously just have to take it one fight at a time, and there are huge fights out there for me this year, but I have to get over Rose Volante first. She's the only one I'm actually focusing on right now, but as I said, if I do get over this one, it could be absolutely huge.
Yeah, I've heard your promoter Brian Peters mention the likes of Delphine Persoon, who is the other belt holder, the WBC champion, 6-weight world champion Amanda Serrano, and Cecilia Brackhouse, who is widely regarded as the best female boxer on the planet at the moment. So is that your list? Is that the 3 names that you want?
Yeah, I'll take all of them. that sounds great. Actually, that's the perfect list. But obviously, I have to keep winning for those fights to be available for me. And yeah, as I said, this could be an absolutely huge year for me. The last couple of years since I have turned pro has been the most exciting couple of years of my career, and it seems to be only getting better and better from here. Yeah,
that word excitement. Are you excited by what lies ahead, which presumably for you is to become the best female boxer of all time? Do you want to stay in boxing for as long as you can to achieve that? Is that the end goal?
Yeah, definitely. I feel like I have plenty of years left in me, and plenty of good years left in me. And you know, when I did turn pro a couple of years ago, when I first sat down with Eddie Hearn, I didn't realise how big this was actually going to be, and it seems to be getting bigger and bigger in every fight. And
is that true that you didn't think it would perhaps grow to what it has done?
I think it was people seemed to think it was a risk for me to turn over into the pro game. I didn't really know how people would take to women's boxing, and I didn't really know people's perceptions of women's boxing as well. But right from the get-go, right from my debut, it seems to be just getting bigger and bigger, and I have these incredible opportunities boxing and huge platforms and huge shows, and this is what I've dreamed of since I was a young girl boxing.
You mentioned perception there. Do you think the perceptions towards women's boxing have changed since you turned professional?
Definitely, that over the last couple of years, even more females have turned over into the pro game as well, and it is definitely getting bigger and bigger. And I think for the first time in the history of women's boxing, people are actually seeing the best of women's boxing now as well. The girls are actually getting these opportunities for the first time, and that's down to obviously Eddie and all the other promoters who are actually putting these girls on these shows for the first time. And there's big fights happening. There's a lot of excitement around these fights as well, which is huge, and it's been incredible.
Is there a weight of expectation on your shoulders? Do you feel that you're one of these driving forces behind the surge in women's boxing? Does it bother you at all? Are you aware of it? I don't know.
It definitely doesn't bother me. I think it's a great privilege to be in this position. I never take it for granted. I love having this responsibility, and I love being one of the trailblazers in the sport. I feel like I was one of the trailblazers in the amateur game as well, and it's great to be able to do the same in the pro game.
Do you think too much about it? I mean, one of the things we've heard certainly over the last couple of years is the inspiration behind young Irish athletes, young Irish female boxers, and they list their heroes and their role models as Katie Taylor. Do you think too much about that? What sort of emotions does that stir when you hear that?
I think that's probably one of the most satisfying parts about this whole journey, really, is being a good influence on these young girls coming up and being a good example. And it's something that I take very seriously, actually. I want to be a great role model, and I want to be a hero to these young girls coming up, and I want them to do even better than what I have done in my career. So it's definitely something that I take very seriously, and it's something that I'm very proud of.
I don't want to put words in Eddie Hearn's mouth, but we saw, for those that have seen the trailer for your film, that the direct messages that you sent him, and he responded saying, "I don't know anything about women's professional boxing." You've kind of learned on the job together. Is professional boxing everything that you thought it would be?
I'm definitely getting a better understanding over the last couple of years about the business side of professional boxing. Ultimately, it is, for me, it's just about going in there and performing the way I've always done throughout my whole career, just preparing for the fights. And I'm a boxing purist at heart. I love the boxing side of things. Sometimes the business side of things can be a small bit frustrating, but I know that's part and parcel of professional boxing, and I am getting a better understanding of that now than ever before, really.
Eddie Hearn says you're his favourite fighter.
Yeah. He probably says that about every one of his fighters.
Yeah, it depends who's fighting that week. But I think he was genuine. He said Katie Taylor's my favourite fighter.
Yeah, that's a huge... I don't even know what to say to that. That's a huge privilege for him to say that. Eddie's done wonders for me over the last couple of years, and I'm so proud to be one of his fighters, and I'm so grateful for everything that he's done for me really over the last couple of years.
We have a little bit of a laugh in the trade in terms of the two different Katie Taylors that we know. There's this Katie Taylor, very softly spoken, so polite and well-mannered. You can't imagine that it's the same person that steps between the ropes and becomes a savage, really. Are you aware of the two Katie Taylors? Can you separate them?
Yeah, I mean, people have said something similar to me before, but it's not something that I have to constantly change who I am going into the ring. I am who I am, and I am a very competitive person. And whenever I do step into the ring, I'll do whatever it takes to actually get the win in there. So yeah.